Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, madam.
Thank you, sir. So great to have you on board again for another LCI meeting. I hope we all had a great day. I can see one of my ogas here, Dr. Blessing Chukukelu. Good evening, ma. Thank you for joining us tonight, ma. Welcome, everyone. Abibat, I can see you. Mr. Badmos, I can see you. Dr. Ladunjoye, Laji De Akinola.
I want to connect now. Sorry.
Okay, ma. I can see my esteemed colleague, Dr. Lale. Thank you so much for joining. Reverend Oluwarinde, welcome. Prof. Prof. Sonny, thank you for coming. Shola, thank you for coming. Mr. Ogundairu, my patient, my very old patient. Thank you for coming. Okay, it's so good to have everyone around tonight. And our guest for tonight will soon be joining us. And as soon as she joins us, we're going to go right into tonight's BYC, like we call it. So let me just check her. She just told me that she was joining the meeting. So let me just check that she's able to join without difficulty. Okay, a warm welcome to everyone who is just joining us. We are live at Lifestyle Champions International, a platform for anyone who is committed and passionate about making healthy lifestyle choices. So thank you for joining us. You can, if I've not mentioned your name, you can also drop your name and where you're joining us from in the chat box. Okay. All right. So good evening to everyone. Or maybe I should say good morning also, depending on where you are joining us from. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you so much for joining. I can see some of my colleagues and some of my friends joining us as well. We're just waiting for our guest speaker, the person who's supposed to share her story, to join us. Let me just try and call her again.
I'm trying.
Please just give us a few minutes. She says she has, she's been trying to link up. Maybe it's the network. So thanks to everyone who has joined us tonight. So I will just start by saying that I'm Dr. Makinde Moyosori, and many of us call me Dr. Uri. And we've been doing this since the year 2020. Was it the year of COVID? Even though Lifestyle Champions was registered, was actually started in 2019. But I think it really took up during the COVID year. And what we've been doing is to motivate individuals around us within our circles, to encourage them to make healthy lifestyle choices. We have enough evidence, from studies, from research, and from personal experience, to show that our lifestyle goes a long way, to determine how well we'll be or how ill we could be. Of course, we know that there are several illnesses that abound, but when we have knowledge about what to do, it kind of empowers us to know that we don't have to be the victim. There's some things we might not have control over, and that's why we always look up to God as our source. He's the one who has created us. And in the beginning, he said everything that he created was good. So God has no fault, when it comes to his creation. But sometimes we make choices that upset that delicate balance in our bodies. And God has given us insights to help us to know that certain decisions or changes or steps would actually help to improve our quality of life and help to reduce the risk of some of these health-related illnesses. So we are so glad that you are here, and I'm really hoping that our guest will be able to join us. Her name is actually Miss. Okay, she's here already. Oh yes, thank God. Yeah, welcome, Mrs. Taiwo Ademo.
Thank you, ma.
Yes, ma. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're so glad you could make it.
Thank you, ma.
Yes, ma. So I was just greeting everyone on the call today. We have members of the Lifestyle Champions International, which is a non-for-profit organization established in 2019. And our main purpose is to build a community of individuals who are passionate about making healthy lifestyle choices every day, in order, to prevent chronic lifestyle-related diseases or chronic non-communicable diseases. And so our guest tonight, I don't have a very long profile, but she's very dear to my heart because we are both members of the Full Gospel Business Men's Fellowship International, and we've worked together in this business. And what really impresses me about her is her passion to see other people thrive, to see them come out of illness and sickness, even though she's not a medical professional. But I'm sure she would have done very well, in the area of health because of that passion that she has. So with us tonight, we have Mrs. Taiwo Ademo. and she's an auditor. She's an accountant. She's a public administrator, and she's also the wife of the National Vice President, Capacity Building Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship International, Nigeria. So we're so delighted to have you, Ma. And in a short while, we're going to be asking you a few questions just to share your experience with us. I know you have shared it with me before, but I know that many others who are here tonight will benefit, from just listening to you, and they'll be encouraged. And that's why we call this session a Boost Your Confidence session, because the experiences of others serve to boost our confidence, to know that we too can actually make an informed change, that will help us to fulfill God's purpose for our lives. I believe that our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. To treat our bodies well means that we are honoring God. If we know that a drink or there's something that you are taking incessantly, you know that this is going to affect your well-being, then we should actually avoid it so that we can honor God. So at this time, I'm going to bring to the table Mrs. Taiwo Ademo. Yeah, welcome, Ma. I hope you had a good day. Please, let's welcome her with
Thank you very
a lot
much,
of love, of claps. And we're so excited that you're here, Ma.
Thank you very much, Ma. I want to say good evening all to participants on the platform. I want to appreciate you for having me to come share with us. And I equally want to say that I thank Dr. Ore. We have worked together on different meetings, and she has been an inspiration to me personally. I'm 55 years and married with 4 children. And while I was younger, or a teenager or about to marry, I was very slim. I was very okay. And while I was having my children, I know how to quickly go back to my normal shape. And after, in fact, 2 weeks after having my, babies, you hardly know if I have, deliver. But when I was 40, I started adding weight. I have 2 children that are medical doctors. I try to share with them. They say, Mom, don't worry. It's middle age spread. You will be fine. Then our late former national president wife, she's a very close prayer partner. One day I shared with her, she said I shouldn't worry. I will calm down. But nothing has happened. I started asking myself, am I okay? First, I discovered that when I go out with my husband, who is more, very okay in stature and all of that, most times I feel very ashamed. Then I just try to bear it. Then most times I look at myself in the mirror. When we are going out on a function, I bring out about 4, 5, 10 clothes just to choose one. I discovered that none of them size anymore. I'm having difficulty. My leg is growing bigger. All the shoes in the house couldn't size me anymore. Is there any problem with me? Is it that I should start building, wardrobe again and start buying clothes? At what age? At the night of my life. So I was a bit worried. But honestly, I didn't know what to do. I've trusted, I've fasted, I've tried to check the food that I eat. Even though I'm someone that lives a fasted prayer life. I read the scripture. And 1 John 2 says, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as you also prosper. So I said, so I know that God wants me to prosper, even in my health. Then last year, a program was held, and it was tagged Health Summit. And doctor, it was actually on lifestyle and cancer, to address challenges that women are facing. And Dr. Ore was one of our our speaker, resource person. She came and she spoke extensively. She began to talk about not taking salt, don't take this, reduce your oil, reduce your this. And it was a catalog, of what you should not take, what you shouldn't take. I know we take salt. And because my husband, had high blood pressure, so we stopped taking salt. But because of that, my blood pressure, my own crashed. So the doctor said, and I need to start taking, and just maybe have 2 pots of soup and all of that. I said no. So many things were coming up. But after that, her talk, I said to myself, Dr. she's a consultant. If she could be so passionate and say this thing, then that means it will work. So I said to myself, I'm going to do something about it. And I'm going to discipline myself. Whatever it will take, I will discipline myself. So the note I took that day, I carried the notes, I recorded the message, I went back again, I listened to it. Before that time, I was wearing American, skirt suit 22. I was wearing, in fact, my shoe, before it was 42. I could even manage 41, but it became 43. I didn't know what to do. So as God helped me, after that meeting, I went back and I said to myself, it will work for me. By the next health summit, I'm going to share with Dr. that if I didn't do well, then that means what she said, we didn't make use of it, and she may not be happy coming again to speak to us. Brethren, that was the beginning of something good in my life. I discovered that once it is 5 o'clock, nothing goes into my mouth, no matter how you garnish it. It doesn't really matter. Once it is 5, 6 o'clock, nothing again. I go to bed. And I discovered that when I go to bed, I wake up very early. I could have my devotion and I am very, strong. Before, it's a struggle to wake up in the morning. So I discovered that too much food, eating very late, is another problem. Then the issue of salt, we cut salt, Maggi, those ones. If I remove it from the shelf so that I will not be tempted, maybe I only put Maggi or salt in my dog food. But for us in the family, I forgot about it. What do I add in my soup? I just blend dry fish and crayfish, and that is our Maggi. Before I thought I will die, without Maggi, and I discovered that nothing has happened. I was doing very well, and then I was losing weight. I discovered that when I'm climbing the stairs, I wasn't panting anymore. I don't need to stand at the landing and be holding my body. Then before, I was having body ache, back ache, neck ache. Everywhere is aching. But by the time I was losing weight, brethren, all those pains disappeared. Even though for the past 23 years, I have not taken Panadol. I'm not someone that easily, falls sick. But I know that most times I have fever and malaria, bodies aching, headache, and all of that. All those things just vanished. My size, my shoe size reduced. My body reduced. In fact, the clothes I'm wearing today, I decided to wear it because for the past 6 years, this dress was given to me. And the woman that gave me kept on asking, Mrs. Ademo, don't you like the dress? I said, I like it. She said, but you have not been wearing it. I said, Mommy, don't worry. And the woman went on vacation and got it for me. I couldn't tell her that it was my size was so big. And most times I would go to the wardrobe, I would try to try it. I couldn't even pull it up. In fact, it didn't even enter me. And you see the way I'm wearing, I even still have space by the side. And I feel so good. I go to church, people are just asking me questions. Mommy Ademo, what have you done? Mommy Ademo, what have you done? And the one that got me almost weeping, on Monday, I went for a presentation. And the cloth that I wore for the presentation, look at the dress. This is size 10. This is size 10. If you look at it very well, you see size 10. And I wore this dress last when my husband was 50 years, about 10 years ago. That was the last time. That was the last time I wore this dress. And it has been in the wardrobe. I've given out so many things, but I looked at it. It's a very beautiful dress. So I said, well, maybe one day. Then I tried to give it to my daughter. She said, Mommy, no, I don't like it. I said, it's very expensive. She said, Mommy, don't worry. And you know all these girls. She said, Mommy, don't worry. I don't like it. You know, even in the medical school, we wear our jacket, it will cover it. But on Monday, I wasn't struggling with it. I wore it conveniently. And I felt, in fact, my husband looked at me and said, come. This is just the way you wear, just a little, you know, when I married you. And my husband I thought he was joking. He just carried me, took him like that, like the way you carry a bride on a wedding day. And I said to myself, sweetheart, so a day like this will come. And I was in tears. I just want to thank God for what God has used that meeting to do. And especially this, our Dr. Ore, God has really used her tremendously. Then last, before you start asking your question, I know that by the reason of my husband's position, every year, hamper is everywhere. The whole house is filled up with one basket or the other. But I discovered that the thing graduated to cow. They started bringing cow, 2 cows, ram, this, that. And when they brought the ram, we put them, I told my driver to go and be sharing and be giving to some people. But you see that cow, I told myself, sweetheart, the devil will not catch me. This cow is not for me. I will not eat it. I just put on my church platform, please, if you need a cow for Christmas, come to our house and carry cow. So I got people. They slaughter it. I put Ziploc there. I put nylon bag there. The people were coming. They were packing. I was just looking at them. They thought they were being smart. But for me, they didn't know that they were just helping me. It's only the turkey that came with it that I ate. Every other thing, I just let go. I just take my fruit. I take my food, not so small, not so big. I just take something small, pour all my vegetable, eat it, and I'm just bouncing around the house. When my kids came from the States for vacation this year, they looked at me and said, Mom, what has happened? I told them God is on the throne and he loves me. No more headache, no more fever, no malaria, nothing. I just take food that is in the season, fruit in the season. I take it, I blend it, I eat it raw, I chew it, I do all of that, eat my food, and I'm just good to go. So I want to say a big thank you that this meeting, honestly, is a good meeting. And if you are in this meeting and you are just like me, you just felt, that's how it is. Because my father, I'm from a family that are on the big side. My dad was very big. In fact, he died of diabetes, you know. So they are always big in my family. But I said to myself, all those things will not catch me. By the grace of God, I must work out my own salvation with fear and trembling. I must work out myself. And I must discipline myself. There are times we go for full gospel meeting. There are a lot of food on the table, and I see how ladies are packing food. Packing plate is like this. My husband and I will just look at each other. We just pick something small, and they'll be looking at me. Are you people still going to eat at home? I said, never mind. And for you to know, let me say this: I've never tasted malt in my life. I see people drink malt. I see people. But for me, it has never entered my mouth. I don't drink Coke. All I take is my water. Anywhere I go, I tell them water. They tell me, no, one bottle of malt will not kill you. I say, no, that's how it starts. Discipline, discipline, discipline. And God has been very faithful. As I'm wrapping up, this is one of my dress. In those days, you can see it, you know. Moshita is a designer wear from US. This is size 22. You know, you can see it. This is 22. You know, I used to wear it and I would be so big in it. But now I've been trying to reduce it, even at that. It didn't fit anymore. But I just have it there as an evidence so that you will know, you know, where I'm coming from. This is another one. This is another one again. This is also size, you know, size 22. Very big. You know, if you look at it, you see, you know, where it is written. And I've tried to, you know, in fact, there was a time I said, let me add something by the side so that it can accommodate me. Because I couldn't, I was having problem with it. And whenever we are going out, it's either I had to quickly take my dress to, you know, so that someone could just add something by the side to fit. Honestly, brethren, it was a bondage, and for which God has delivered me from. Thank you.
Wow. Please help me to appreciate our dear mommy in the house tonight. Just give her some accolades there in the chat box to appreciate her. Thank you, Ma. This is a wonderful testimony. We are so excited that you have shared with us, you know, from your heart, you know, and nobody can doubt that what you are saying is true. And so we really want to thank you, Ma, for sharing your story. Her story is even far more than this, so I have heard more, but you know, it's a short meeting. We just want to summarize and want to give us an opportunity to also ask our questions, maybe very specific questions about some of the things that she has said. So I'm so happy that all of us are here tonight. Let me see what's in the chat box. Okay, yes, we have people appreciating you. Thank you, Mr. Badmos. Thank you, Dr. Diana. Thank you, Mrs. Adewusi. Thank you so much for appreciating our guest tonight. Thank you for your life, Ma. This is wonderful.
Thank you, Ma.
Life, Ma.
Thank you. Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Ma.
Oh, sister, this is Dr. Fioma Fagbemi. She's saying, Sister T, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
She's one of my ogas in the Society of Lifestyle Medicine.
She's my wonderful sister.
Amazing. This is a nice testimony. God will bless you, Ma. That's from Mrs. Olu. Thank you, Ma, from Reverend Oluwaride. We thank God for your life, Ma. Thank you, Ma. God. So thank you, everyone, for appreciating our guests. So we want to take specific questions from us. You know, I was writing when she was speaking because I learned from my patients. I learned from my brothers and sisters, my colleagues. You know, the fact that I'm a lifestyle medicine physician, the fact that I even teach other people and mentor them and motivate people to make healthy choices does not mean that I will stop learning. Once we stop learning, we stop growing. So no matter how good we are with our choices, there'll be something here or there, you know, that we can still put in that will make it a bit better. So I was actually writing some of the things that she said, and I really want to appreciate you, Ma, for sharing with us, you know, where you're coming from, for showing us some of those wears that I used to wear before that you're not wearing anymore. You know, she mentioned something. She mentioned her age. You know, she's 55 years. She mentioned the issues her concern with weight gain, including her shoe size, you know, and dress size. But one of the things that she pointed out was that she had a kind of encounter. She was engaged in a summit, in a health summit, where she learned some things. In fact, the people that attended that summit, if I remember well, were over 500. I can't remember how many, but there were a whole lot of people that attended that health summit. So I don't know how many people made up their minds that they were going to practice some of the things that were shared during that health summit. But she was one of the people who made up her mind that she was going to make some changes. So that's the first lesson for me. Many of us will be exposed to the same teaching, the same correction, and all of that. But how many people are going to make a change? It really depends on you as a person. So, but she talked about discipline. As you can see, she has a lot of things at her disposal. You can imagine having 2 cows at your disposal. And some people will say, how is that cow going to my compound? I know that's the mindset of a lot of us. But I can tell you, and I think I've told many of us before, I stopped eating meat, red meat, some years ago. Such that if I see red meat now and I try to even eat it, it's very difficult for me. I can't even chew it anymore. Let me not go so much into that area. I want us to ask her question. So she made emphasis on the fact that she doesn't have as much body pains, all the body pains she used to have when she had more weight. She doesn't have them anymore. She's no longer panting when she climbs the stairs or when she takes a walk. The headaches that she used to have gone down. Her shoe size reduced. She takes vegetables. She takes fruits in season. She eats food, but not too much. She doesn't take soft drinks. Her best drink is water. In place of Maggie, she blends dry fish, to season her food. And once it's 5 p.m., no more supper. I know that one is going to be hard for people who are living in Lagos. It's not only Lagos, but it just tells you that if you make up your mind, then you can actually achieve what you want. All right. So do we have any questions? I'm looking in the chat box now. Do we have any questions? Oh, I can see a question from Dr. Ifeoma Fagbemi. She says, Dr. Ore, I didn't hear anything about exercise. Okay, ma. So do you respond?
Oh, sorry. I was just, I was rushing. Yes, I take a walk. We have, I also exercise. I live in, we have space in the house. And I use my exercise as a prayer walk. I walked around and I also exercise. We have treadmill and all of that. But most times I prefer to just, go around the house. There are times I run around, put on my shorts, run around the house. I skip, I do a lot of exercise. And in the evening, I also take a walk around after my meal. And that has also helped. At least I do that for me to sweat. I do that for me to be able to sweat. And it has also helped me. And there's something that I also forgot. My husband used to have high blood pressure. And we has taken a lot of drugs, S-Forge, this, that. There's one other one again. And in fact, there was a time he almost died because he was taking a meeting and his face was changing, sort of. And I said, you are not well. So, and men, when you talk about their health, there's a way they just... So I got someone that is a medical doctor that is a senior person that my husband respects. He's late now, Dr. GTN Ajapu. Says, my husband is sick. And he said, don't worry. So he came with his machine, everything, and visited us as if he was visiting us. He visited and just cracked some jokes, asked for, he decided to take his own BP and he said, yeah, come, Wale, let me do for you. And he did for my husband. Brethren, it was serious. He looked at him so many times and asked that for you to be standing is just by the mercy of God. And from that day on, change. In fact, he admitted him for about 3 or 4 days and said, that work will not die. Then, after a while, prescribed drug and said he should be taking S-Forge or something. So we were doing that. But when the head summit, so most times in the night, I would say, sweetheart, have you taken your drug? So it was becoming like a uniform or handbag that if he has not taken it and things like that. But during the head summit, when we heard all those things, I just said to myself that this thing will work. So planted vegetable around my house. and ensure that I give him his fresh food to eat. And I also ensure that he take his rest, take time out to rest, sleep on time. Every engagement, once it's come to a certain time, I will put off his phone and I make sure that, have some time to rest. And I change his menu completely. No oil at all. We just cook our food without oil. And I tell you, brethren, till today, I don't know when last my husband took that drug. He has stopped taking that S-Forge, and no big tummy, nothing. My husband is smart. When I say smart, I mean my husband is smart. He wears suit, it fits. He looks even more younger than myself, and I feel very happy. All those things has gone. So two of us, we are just see us, jumping and exercising, around, and people see us in the neighborhood and say, "Ah, Oga, madam, good morning, good morning." So honestly speaking, we are just happy. And that's just the truth. And when you are doing well, you will know, and you will be happy. Your body can tell, you can testify. And the high blood pressure, it has long gone. And I know it will never come back again in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Wow, that's amazing, ma. I'm so glad to hear that you are not in this alone, that you and your husband are partners
Yes.
in this lifestyle journey. This is wonderful.
Yes.
I think it's very instructive for all of us here who have our spouses. We should not leave them behind as we're going in this lifestyle journey. It's going to benefit every member of the family. Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much, ma.
So you answered that question from Dr. Fagbemi. And do you know, I realized that you've actually mentioned practically all the pillars of lifestyle medicine. As a lifestyle medicine physician, there's 6 major pillars that we talk about, health pillars. So we have the pillar of healthy diets and optimum nutrition, which has talked about. We have the pillar of sleep. She didn't mention that earlier, but she added that she makes sure that they rest on time, they sleep on time. One of the things that keep a lot of us awake at night is being on our TV, our computer, or then she also talked about exercise, running, skipping, walking after meals. Then so that's how many pillars now: diet, exercise, sleep. Then of course, no substances. Substances are things like alcohol, nicotine, none of that. Then we have the pillar of mental well-being. And we have the pillar of connectedness, having a good relationship with people around you. And of course, she's talked about her husband, and she's talked about how she was a blessing to other people, blessing other people around her. So thank you so much, Ma, for sharing that. Let me see, do we have any other question? Okay, so we have thanks for the experience, wonderful testimonies. Congratulations, Ma. Discipline and determination are so crucial. Bless you, Ma. That's from Matron Oyeguke. Thank you, Ma. So we don't seem to have any other questions. Do we have anyone that wants to call? Okay, so Dr. Fagbemi has helped us to list the healthy pillars: healthy diet, exercise, rest and restorative sleep, stress management. Thank you, Ma, for the stress management. I missed out stress management earlier, even though I mentioned mental health, social connectedness, and avoiding toxic substances. That's awesome. And then we have this comment from Dr. Oduniyi, my colleague at work and a geriatrician. Thank you, sir. He says, thanks, Ma, for the testimony. Ma, I drink water a lot to the extent that I don't eat food much. How do I reduce this?
Water is life, ma.
Hello, it's Mrs. Oduniyo, not Dr. Oduniyo. She's listening to you. Good evening.
Oh, it is Mrs. Oduni. Oh, okay. Because I was wondering. Okay. All right.
Yes,
So
water is life. So we keep drinking water, in our own country, Nigeria, we sweat a lot. Our weather is hot. So we need a lot of water. And I drink a lot of water when I'm going to work, when I'm going out. I have my water in my water bottle, and it's in my bag. And most times I take warm water, hot water, because it also depends on the type of water we take. I know many people like very cold, chilling.
Begins to build us up to where God Himself comes upon this promised word and begins to.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so it depends on the type of water that is good for you. For me, I have come to realize that hot water on its own is a healer. There are many times I feel funny and I just drink my hot water or my hot lemon and I'm just good to go and I'm just fine. So I want to also recommend that let's study our body. What is it that your body is agitating for? What is it that fits you? For me, I don't take cold water anymore. I'm someone that enjoy drinking garri because I have Ijebu background. My mother-in-law is a real correct Ijebu woman. And they will tell you that garri must not be scarce in Ijebu's house. So I drink garri a lot, and it has to be with cold water, with ice block. But I've come to realize that it's not helping me. When I take it, I hardly go to toilet. So these are things that I study. So I stopped that if I must drink, I just pour ordinary water. But on a normal day, I drink warm water, I take hot water. So when I'm going out, I have 2 water bottles, hot water or hot lemon. Then I have ordinary room temperature, just normal water. And I feel good and I'm happy. So, but drinking water is very good. Water is life. Water is essential. So I would recommend that we take a lot of water, because even when you're sick, you also need water, for cleansing. Your kidney also need water. So we need water. And if you don't drink water, by the time you visit the restroom, you discover that your urine is, looking dark. So we need water in the system. Even if you are fasting, you also still need water. So I drink a lot of water. Water is good and water is life. But let's just study our body and know what is good. So that it's not just cold water. Some say even if you are in labor room, you can drink cold water. Well, my own research, that's what I feel is good for me. And our body, make is not the same, but water is good.
Thank you for that, Ma. And I'm really happy that you said it's important that each of us, studies our body, understand your system, how it works, so that you'll be able to identify the things that are actually killing the system. So, to my dear sister, Mrs. Oduniyi, I want you to also know that actually, if you want to lose weight, it's one of the I don't want to call it a trick, it's a strategy to helping you lose weight when you drink a lot of water. So it's natural that if you drink a lot of water, you are less likely to eat a larger meal. And that's why we also advise that if anyone is trying to lose weight, in between, as you are eating, make sure you are drinking water in between. Don't wait till the end of the meal before you drink water. Some people will say, wait till 20 minutes after, wait till 2 hours after. All those things are fallacies. As you are eating, drink water. You discover that the total amount of food that you are eating would reduce. And the fact is that we don't need as much as we eat. Many of us, we don't need as much, but we just indulge ourselves. We feel that, oh, because it is there, and I have to show now that I have the money, I can afford it. But it doesn't really follow. I have this comment also from Matron Oyegoke. Thank you, our Chief Coordinator, more grace. Thank you, Ma. Then Dr. Fagbemi again says, if you need a guide through your lifestyle modification journey, please consult Dr. Ray and be sure to pay her, please.
Yes, I agree with that.
Her services should be kindly and well remunerated. Invite her to enlightening groups you belong to, and please remember to appreciate her financially. She no send me, oh. We too like our woo. Very interesting. Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much, Ma, for that.
Thank you, Ma.
Do we have any other comments? Usually our meeting doesn't take more than 45 minutes to 1 hour, so we'll be rounding up shortly. Do we have any further comments or questions?
Yeah, may I say something, please?
Oh, yes, Ma. Please go ahead, Ma.
All right. So I was just excited to see Sister T was the one giving testimony. I remember sometime last year, I saw one of the posters, Full Gospel Ladies, you went to speak to them. I suppose that was when you had the health summit. And it's good to know, we've known each other for like 30 years plus now, since about 1980, yes.
Yes,
so
yes.
Like about 31, 32 years. So we've come a long way. I haven't seen her with her big body like she was saying, but obviously the tendency was there. And she's a truthful lady. So I know that everything she's saying is true. You know, we haven't seen much in recent times. And I know her husband very well. And she's a very forthright person. So I know what she's telling us is true. You know, all those dresses she's showing, I know that these are the kind of dresses she usually wears for her ladies of fellowship meetings. So it's not a lie that she's showing us all these things, even though we haven't seen for a long while. I really want to thank you for the discipline you've taken. I'm sure you know how I look. Every time you see me, that I haven't changed. It's a lot of discipline. You know, even today I went back to the clinic where I worked. All of them, I said, doctor, you have not changed. I guide my portion sizes, you know, little portions. You know, I am not perfect, like Dr. Torres said. We are all work in progress. When you stop learning, you stop growing. So I do sizes in my compound. What I want to encourage we ladies is that sometimes it's difficult to do exercise, but we have music. I want to encourage us to do dance exercise. Play all nice hot Christian music you like, or whatever hot music you like. Do and dance so that you enjoy it. It doesn't feel as if somebody is forcing you to do something. So when you are exercising, you are singing, you are worshiping, so you're not spending time, talk less of wasting time. So you gain the two. So you walk, you sing, the one you can sing. If you can't sing because of the intensity of the exercise, let the music be playing. You'll be worshiping as you are doing the exercise. You're enjoying it and you are sweating too. So I prefer to go outside into the compound where we get sunshine. So you get an additional benefit by exposing yourself to sunshine, early morning sunshine or late evening sunshine where it's not too hot, you know. So I do that. By the time I play about maybe 20 songs, but get all those recordings that last for like an hour. One song after the other, I just play it 1 hour and you are dancing. Before you know it, you've done the exercise for even 2 days, at least, you know, and then find a time that is convenient for you and build a routine around it. If you can't do all at once, you do a little in the morning, a little in the evening, you know, a minimum of 30 minutes per day. You know, so if you can't do 30 minutes at a stretch, do 15 minutes in the morning, 15 in the evening. But as you and I know, all of us can afford to do 30 minutes in the morning. Those of us who are not rushing to work, you know, 30 minutes in the evening. But a minimum of 30 minutes per day. minimum is 5 times a week, but we can hardly do the intensity that we require for 30 minutes. So I prefer to do 1 hour every day, my own minimal exercise, and I'll sweat because I cannot do the kind that will make me not to sing, which means I'm still doing below normal. So instead, I extend the time from 30 minutes to 1 hour. So at least I still spend the energy the way I want. Okay, so I hope I've dropped something with us so that we can enjoy the exercise, find a time, and make it enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Ma. That's wonderful. So what Dr. Opagbe
Yes.
done for us is that she has also tried to bring in the evidence base, the
That's
scientific recommendations, because all these things that we are talking about today is actually a recommendation based on research. So when it comes to exercise, it's good to know that every one of us will walk around, but are we meeting up to the standard recommendation? And that's what Dr. Fagbemi has just shared with us. The World Health Organization recommends a minimum of 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise on at least 5 days of the week. So that moderate intensity exercise means that whatever you're doing, it means that you can't sing. That's the moderate intensity. But if it is mild intensity, it means that you can sing, you can talk. But if it is moderate, you can talk, but you can't sing. If it is vigorous intensity, such as running, playing football, you're unlikely to be able to do, to even be able to talk, depending on the rate at which you're doing it. So you just want to catch your breath. But what we recommend is moderate intensity. So as much as you can cope with, just start small and increase gradually. You discover that you won't be panting, at the pace that you used to pant before. And then you can even increase your intensity gradually. So thank you so much, everyone. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has joined us tonight. We are so grateful. Unwoso Yomi says, yes, ma, dancing and walking is very helpful. I just started recently and I'm enjoying every bit of it. And one of the reasons why we will enjoy dancing, moving, and all of that is because the way God has designed our bodies, our brains release what we call endorphins, these feel-good hormones. They are released from the brain whenever we move, whenever we exercise. So, but if you find people who are always seated, they don't move around, they are more likely to become depressed. They are more likely to have anxiety disorders. But when you move around, and it's not that what you're doing is stressful, because I had to tell a number of people that going to Idumota, and struggling with people and doing all sorts of stressful stuff is not exercise. Exercise has to be planned. It should be recurring. It should be enjoyable. It should be something that would reduce your stress, not something that will increase your stress. When you're stressed, your body is going to release more of the stress hormone, and that is going to encourage inflammation within the body and chronic disease. So, but I think that this is a wonderful place to stop tonight. I really want to thank God for each and every one of us. And I pray that God will perfect all that concerns our health. I pray that God is going to give us the grace to be disciplined and to make the right choices, and that no chronic illness or disease will be found among any one of us. And I really want us to remember that as much as we try to make the healthy choices, we still have to depend on God. We need to connect with our source, our creator. He's the one who makes all things beautiful. He's the one who has created us. So if we have any concern, any health concern, he's still the one that will heal us. So we give him all the glory for the life of our sister, Mrs. Ademo. And we pray that God will continue to bless you and keep you, ma. And
thank you, ma.
We'll always have reasons, to thank God for you. My dad is here. Yeah, my dad is here. Dr. Peter Olushola Elimlet. Dad for joining us. My dad turned 75 last year.
Wow.
It takes at least 10,000 steps every day. He walks twice a day. He goes for his walk in the morning and he goes for his walk in the evening. Maybe Dad will come and share his experience with us one of these days. He'll come and share his testimonial.
Wonderful. You're welcome, Daddy. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So thanks so much, everyone. We're going to log out now.
Thank you.
God bless everyone. Have a wonderful night.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night, wonderful weekend. Yes.
Good night.
Let's unmute ourselves. Let's unmute ourselves to speak.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. It's been a
Bye-bye.
good time.
Good night.
Good night.
Nice meeting you. Good night, everybody. God bless you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Good night.
Good night.
I love you.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
God will reward the people of love.
Good night. Good night.
Good
night.
Amen.
We appreciate you too.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Maz. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you real good. Thank you so much. It's good to see everyone tonight.
All right. Well done, sister.
Tony.
Sorry, I joined late. Sorry.
No worries. I'm sure you can watch the conversation more later.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Olaniyi.
All right, Toyin. Bye.
Toyin,
fine here.